Na 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 na. Can mouth taping fix sleep apnea? That is the question today, guys. Old mate over here, he seems to think so. He's pretty convinced and his video has nearly 1 million views. I'm not so sure. Let's take a look at his awesome video. He's got some great tips, but perhaps his advice, not so great. All right, let's do it. Here we go, the Essential Craftsman.
So if you're a contractor and you're sleepy all the time, or for that matter, if you do any kind of physical work that exhausts you and you find yourself always falling asleep, listen up. Because after years of experimentation and thousands of dollars spent in medical treatment, I think I've figured something out that is changing my life in terms of how sleepy I am and might be a benefit to you.
Now for the next 6 minutes, old mate tells us about his sleep apnea journey, and I'm sure many of you can relate. Spends a lot of money doing sleep testing, goes back to see his doctor. His doctor tells him he has severe obstructive and central sleep apnea, both types. His doctor cranks up the therapy pressure on his machine and it's causing a lot of problems. It's blowing air out his mouth, he's got dry mouth, he's having a horrible time tolerating the CPAP machine. And then he thinks to himself, hang on, has that light bulb moment, what if I just tape my mouth? Will that solve the issues? He then starts to experiment with whatever he can find in his toolbox, duct tape, electrical tape, and that brings us to this point in the video.
So, I continued to experiment with different kinds of duct tape and I would cut slits in them and I thought I was doing okay. And then one day, one wonderful day, I was talking to my friend, Dr. Brandon Bishop. He's a podiatrist here in Roseburg. And he said, hey, I have the tape you need. Now, kinesiology tape, it is, I wrote down here, an elastic therapeutic tape with an acrylic, it's a cotton strip with an acrylic adhesive. Secure tape, grip. Let me show you what I do every night. I cut off about, yay so much, 3.5 inches. I don't quite cut it completely, I stretch it, and I cut that tab, so there's a little bit there that I can get a hold of because it's late and I'm sleepy and I'm tired of messing with this. And then I fold it about 1/3. You didn't know this was a healthcare channel, did you? And then I take my scissors and I cut 3 little slits right in the middle, kind of where my mouth is going to be, so I can get a little air back and forth so I don't freak out, all right? And then I peel it back to the fold. And I put the fold at the line of my lips with the cuts centered on my mouth. I adhere the top. And now this is a great part. I pull the bottom and stick it to my face. Now, in the morning, it comes right off, but here's what happens. I'm able to get a little air transfer if I need it. I'm able to cough if I need it. And I am able to wake up with my mouth not dry and having slept. Now, here's what happened next. After about a week of doing that and realizing how well it was working, I thought, maybe I don't need this machine. So I was given an Apple Watch for Christmas. An Apple Watch will check your oxygen saturation. An Apple Watch monitors your heart rate. And by adding, where's my phone? A SleepWatch app, which works great, I was able to begin to get some good data on what was going on while I was sleeping. It shows how much restful sleep and how much light sleep. And it tells me that my oxygen saturation was 96%. My doctor tells me that he can't use the data that's collected with an Apple Watch, and I get that. But I have enough faith in it to give some significance to the fact that every dynamic that is being measured is at or above what 50% of the population my age is experiencing. And that, my friends, is good enough for me. So I got rid of the darn machine. I've been thinking about running it through the power hammer. I hate it. I hate it. There may be another way to treat your sleep apnea, and there may not be. And I'm not giving any medical advice. I'm just telling you that I feel rested. Instead of taking 3 naps a day, I'm taking 3 naps a week. And besides that, life is better when you can sleep. So I guess what I would recommend is that everyone takes an active role in their own health care. Talk to your friends about all of your problems, because you never know when somebody is going to know something that you don't know that is vitally important for you to know. Thanks for watching Essential Craftsman, and keep up the good work.
Now I have to say, I really like Scott. I love his attitude. You know, he's got a problem and he's determined to fix it. He's gone through all the different tape and he's found the one that works. Now he's got his Apple Watch, he's got his sleep app, he's embracing technology, trying to work out what's best for Scott, and you have to admire that, and I hope that you all do the same. There is a little bit of a problem with the data that he's using to validate his decision to quit therapy, to give up his BiPAP machine. And that's the reason why his doctor said, look, sorry mate, I can't use your Apple Watch for the data. It's a consumer device, it's not a medical device, and I can't use that for the basis of my decisions. But Scott's gone ahead and done so. And I'll tell you where the flaw is in that. I know Scott said, hey, I'm dreaming, I'm not having as many naps, and I'm feeling better. So he's going off what he's feeling, which is great. But if you want to quit therapy, you need more. You do, guys. You need more than just how you're feeling. Okay, you can't just go off that. You need some good data to back up your decision. And the data you get from the Apple Watch, especially the O2 data that he was quoting, the 96% O2 average, whatever it was, is not great. The Apple Watch has an extremely low O2 sampling rate, 2-3 times an hour. To put that in comparison, your SleepHQ O2 Ring or a pulse oximeter that you use when you have a sleep test is once every second in the sleep lab. This one here is once every 4 seconds, but it's very, very, very fast. And that gives you a very accurate, complete picture of what is happening with your blood oxygen level throughout the entire night. If you're only taking little snapshots 2-3 times an hour of your blood oxygen readings, there's a good chance you're missing those dips where you have apnea. Yeah, you have an apnea, your blood oxygen level drops, but it quickly reverts back to baseline. And if you took that whole night, you spend a lot of time at baseline, even if you have very severe apnea. So there's a good chance you could be missing that. Now, if Scott did really want to see if he still needed his BiPAP machine, there are 2 things he could do. And you should probably do them together. And even then, I'm not recommending this. It's just going to give you a more accurate picture. An O2 ring or any pulse oximeter, really, like a good pulse oximeter that has a nice fast sample rate, you know, between 1 to 4 seconds, will give you a much more accurate picture of your blood oxygen level. Now, the other method Scott could use to see if he still needed CPAP therapy, BiPAP therapy, is to drop his pressure level down to the lowest level, down to 4, have it fixed as a CPAP on 4, the lowest level, and then import that data into SleepHQ.com to check out his breathing, his flow rate, and have a look with his own eyes to see throughout the night if there are any periods of apnea. Now, it's not perfect because remember, even though it's low, it's only 4 centimeters of pressure, it's still some pressure, it's still providing some therapy. But that's what I'd do first. If I wasn't going to do a sleep test, I'd drop my pressure down to the lowest level, import the data. Now, if the data looks like this, the flow rate, you're breathing throughout the whole night, it's good, even, stable breathing throughout the whole night, I'd then spend a night without the CPAP. You're no longer going to get this nice flow rate. You won't be able to check out your breathing, but you could do a few nights with an O2 ring or another oximeter, fast sampling rate. And if your blood oxygen levels are also nice and stable throughout the whole night, then you've got a good case that potentially you don't need CPAP therapy anymore. I'm not going to say it's perfect, but it's certainly a good case if you didn't want to go and do another sleep test for whatever reason. Now, if you looked at your flow rate and there were periods where it looked like this, All right, let's have a look. You can see here the breathing is no longer regular. You have all these pauses, restrictions, and you can pretty much assume that you still do need CPAP therapy. All right, so I just wanted to show you that today, guys. All right, I love Scott's video. I love his channel. Go check it out. I just think the data he was using to validate his decisions wasn't great. And if you do want to follow Scott's path, you know, start taping your mouth with kinesiology tape, whatever it is. If you do want to check for yourself, if you still do need CPAP without doing a sleep test, there's a few methods you can try that are a bit more accurate. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, sleep well, look after your mates, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
G'day mates, this video is sponsored by SleepHQ. Upload, review and share your detailed CPAP reports with anyone from anywhere. Visit sleephq.com and join our free community today.